In this video, 5 travel cosmetics, especially for lightweight traveling or hand luggage only. And except of one, they are unisex for both male and female travelers. Hello, welcome back to the Splashpacker YouTube channel. My name is Alice. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the face behind Splashpacker.com website and the Splashpacker YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 cosmetics you can take on your travels. And especially if you like to travel lightweight or are going to backpack or only traveling with hand luggage. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female, except of one. All of them are unisex cosmetics useful to take on your travels. How I became an expert in lightweight traveling. Well, I'm just planning for a almost 2 weeks travel trip through Spain, to the side of Spain. And I got only this are my liquids. Of course, I have some more cosmetics, but they are not liquid. I'm traveling only on hand luggage. So I like to first explain to you why I'm an expert on packing lightly. And because I've been on the road for like almost 2 decades, but I started off as a diving instructor. And I remember those times I was traveling with the paper book package from Paris. So I don't know if you know it. It was like the H4, this thick. That was only the instructor manual, and you had some more books. And then, of course, I have my whole dive equipment. So there came a point that I traveled with a weekend bag on wheels with my dive equipment, with some clothes in there, and a little backpack rucksack, like hand luggage format, with some personal stuff. This I took off later on. After the Dominican Republic and Mexico, I worked with that in the Maldives. And later on, I went to New Zealand and Australia. Why it's super handy to travel so light. Which was very useful, by the way, because, for example, when I had a job on the Maldives, on the way back, I did a stop in Sri Lanka. I stored my big dive bag, and with my little backpack, I just traveled around the country. So my last travels in Southeast Asia, I was almost 1 year there, but at some point I was doing freelance work, mostly marketing for dive centers in Thailand and later on in the Maldives. And I left my big backpack in the Maldives, and with a small hand luggage backpack, I went to see my friend in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. I went home with her. She's from Singapore. From there, I traveled to the Philippines, back to Singapore. Then I went to Thailand, and then I went to Sri Lanka to pick up my big backpack. So I did all these travels I just mentioned in a small hand luggage rucksack. So I learned to travel very lightly, and cosmetics is a big thing, especially if you're female. But like I said, I normally focus on female travel, but this video is also for male because most of the cosmetics are unisex. In this video about travel cosmetics, what to pack, what not to pack, and a word about liquids on air travel nowadays. Okay, I just gave you a small introduction to let you know that how I became an expert in lightweight traveling. And cosmetic, of course, is a big part, especially nowadays. We cannot take that many liquids in our hand luggage. So even if you go backpacking with a big backpack, if you have a check-in luggage, you can put some liquids in there. But liquids take up a lot of space, and of course they're also pretty heavy. So I'm going to share in this video 5 cosmetics I always take. And I'm also going to share you in the end of this video the things I don't take and why. Because this is a mistake many people might make. They might fill up the luggage with things they actually don't need to take or can get on the destinations. After those 5 travel cosmetics for man and woman, for male or female, I'm also going to give you 2 bonus tips that are useful. And I will also write a blog post about this. Of course, I have a pen in my hand. I'm a writer. So you can check that out. I will add the link in the description as soon as this blog post is published. So who is this travel cosmetics video for? And what is the benefit of traveling light and with only the basic cosmetics? So this video is actually for anyone who's planning on long travels and likes to pack lightly, like backpacking, like a long 1 year backpacking trip, for example, but also for short travels. And if you like to travel only on hand luggage, because that's what I do a lot lately. Last year I went to Cape Verde on only hand luggage, and I went to 4 different islands. And it's really nice to travel so lightly because you feel so free. You don't have to carry, and you're very mobile. So you can do a lot of island hopping. You can travel around a lot. So it's very useful to travel lightly. And now I'm exploring mainland Spain at the moment. And again, I'm traveling only with hand luggage. So Also, it saves you some costs because nowadays a lot of airlines charge you for check-in luggage. So yeah, have a look at this and it might save you some luggage, some cost, and make sure traveling more mobile and more lightly. So you also like this video. Normally I focus on female solo travel, but this video is doesn't matter if you're male or female. Those travel cosmetics are unisex, like I said, except for the first one. Unless you're a man who likes to use foundation, but otherwise you can skip the first one and head on to the second one if you're a male. And the rest of them are for male and female. So now let's get to those 5 travel cosmetics that are very useful to take on your traveling. Let's get to the first item. Factor 50 sun protection for your face with a color. So those are sun factor 50 for your face with a color. And for me, it's very useful because I don't take makeup. I use this as foundation. If you like, you can still use a brush, like a powder or something to make more color on your face. But this is my makeup base also. I know in an evening you don't need factor 50, but I'm not going to take something and. So this is actually a 3-in-1 thing. It's factor 50 for your face. You can use it in the sun. So it's makeup as you can use in the sun. It's not makeup. It's factor 50, but it has a color. And I think last years they are becoming more popular, but I'm using them since like 3 or 4 years now. And if I'm not a big makeup person anyway, but if I go out and I should make up my face in the evening, I can use it too. And I have those different ones. This is a very cheap brand with real. I think it's a Bulgarian brand who don't like to invest too much in marketing. So they're very cheap. It's only like €3 or so. But this is not my favorite color. I have that as a backup because I live in the sunshine. So I use them almost every day. I used to use this one a lot, Ikram. But maybe because I'm using factor 50 all the time, my face is getting lighter, so this one is getting too dark for me. And this is my favorite one at the moment. It's a Spanish brand, Bavaria. And this one, it says like anti-aging. I'm beginning 40s now, so I have to work on that a bit. It's also anti-manchas, like anti-spot in English. And like I said, I used to work as a diving instructor, so I've been in the sun without protection when I was diving with your dive mask. I almost never put sun protection on my face. So I have a lot of spots. And now I'm wearing this one now. But if I don't, you can see I have a lot of spots from the sun. And this is preventing it, so it's pretty good. It has a very high protection, UVA, UVB. Well, I put your information. This is Voltage, like a Voltage 360 multi-protection. It's very good for your skin, so it protects everything. But I will add more information in the blog post. I bought this one in Canary Islands. It's about €10, €11. But maybe I think one thing to keep in mind is find the right color for your face, because this one suits my face very well, but it's a very good protection, and it's almost like a makeup if I wear it. So it covers all my sunspots I already have, and it protects it from getting more, and it also has vitamin B3, help you against more sunspots. So I put more information in the blog post in the description below. This is my favorite one, but you might want to find another one. And maybe you want to invest more like pharmacy ones. They are more expensive. They might be better quality. For me, those ones are fine. Check the description below for a link to this one and also for other ones. I don't need to wear extra makeup. I don't need to bring foundation. I do normally bring another factor 50 without a color. Like if you sweat a lot, the color might cut off. For water sports, you want to bring reef protected, like reef proof sun protection. But yeah, this is something very useful for traveling. So far only for the female travelers, and some other videos you might like too. As mentioned before, that was the only one that is really useful for women. By the way, I have another video with some travel items I take as a woman specifically. So I can link to that video somewhere in the above. This is specifically for female travels. And I also, by the way, have another video for electronics I always take traveling, so you might want to check those videos out. They're gonna show up somewhere where you can click on them, but hang on here for my next travel cosmetics. And those are all unisex. Number 2, deodorant that is not a spray and not a roll-on. No liquids in this one. So the second one I always take, I have one is almost finished, so I've got a new one already. And I'm not sponsored by Rexona, but this is the one I really like because, and you have them from other brands as well. I've seen them from Sanex, also some other brands. I really like Rexona, like it's deodorant, yeah, of course. But what I like about this one, it's not a roll-on and it's not a spray, so so it doesn't count as liquids. Liquids, you don't have to put them in your plastic bag. If you only travel with hand luggage, this one can go in a normal part. Um, this one is open because it's a stick. Okay, and they last forever. If you go for long backpack travels, one of these, it takes it. I do almost a year with it, and like I said, it can go in your hand luggage without being classified as liquid, and it works really well as a deodorant itself. So this one for me, and it's small. Like I said, it takes. I do a year with it almost. So you can take this one as your deodorant, and you don't need any bottle sprays, you don't need any roll-ons, you don't need any liquids, and you're done for a year almost. Very useful. The third travel cosmetic I always take with me is the multi-purpose tea tree oil. The third one I take is a little bottle, only this big. This is my size, of tea tree oil. And why I take tea tree oil? Because it's multi-purpose. Tea tree oil is antiseptic. I'm not sure antiseptic, but it's antibacterial and antifungal. So it can help for a lot of things. I have a skin which is quite prone for acne, and especially when you're traveling, you order waters, you eat other food. If you have a little pimple, you can put a bit on a cotton pad, and it helps for a pimple. But it also helps for what you're really prone to catch while traveling is athlete's foot. You know, when you're in your toes, when the skin breaks between your toes, this eczema kind of. This one can help. Anything like bacterial, fungal, this one helps. So you can also add a few drops through your day cream, for example, if you have acne. You shouldn't use it undiluted on your skin, but you can add it to creams. For mosquito bites, it's useful for a lot of things. Personally, I really like the smell of tea tree, so you can also use it if you're somewhere and, for example, your bedding doesn't smell that fresh. You can sprinkle a bit on your bedding. You do a lot of things with it, and it doesn't take up much space. The fourth one is shampoo in a bar or solid shampoo. Of course, you bring less luggage, it weighs less, and you can take it in your hand luggage without any problems. Personally, I do bring normal conditioner, but shampoo in a bar nowadays is pretty high quality. This one, for example, is with coconut and keratin. I will add the link in the description below if you like to order a similar one on Amazon. The fifth travel cosmetic I always take with me, especially on longer travels, is a specific toothpaste. Now, number 5, I also take out of experience. I come with a little story first. I once was on the Philippines on a very remote island on Madagascar where they dive with the treasure shark. I started to have a really painful tooth, and I didn't want to skip my any dives. And something like this is really useful. And if you don't need it because you don't have toothaches, you can still use it as a normal toothpaste. I have a friend who is like tent technician, and she recommended me this toothpaste because she said you can leave if you really have like if you have a problem with your teeth, you can leave it overnight. Make sure you don't swallow it, but it really penetrates the teeth. And maybe dentists don't agree with it, but from my own experience, it saved me once some scuba dives and not taking antibiotics. In the end, after my 4 days in Malapascua Island, I went to Cebu. I went to a very good dentist, by the way. It took the pain away. It's not a long-term solution, but if you're somewhere where there's no dentist, or maybe you cannot get to a dentist so quickly, this can really help for days if you have a bad tooth problem. And it's called the Rapid Action from Sensodyne. Here's the box. And by the way, this is the normal format. I used to have them also in smaller formats. That is really useful if you just want to check that put it in your backpack, or if you just want to take it traveling. I don't take it on short travel, but I definitely take it on if I go long-term traveling, because you never know if you get a problem with your teeth and there's no dentist in the area. This, for a few days, can really help get the pain away. And like I said, leave it overnight. Make sure you don't swallow it. But for me, unmissable in my backpack for long-term travels. But I would take the small one because you might not need it. But if you run out of toothpaste, it's also a normal toothpaste, so you can still use it. The bonus tip with a demonstration. Then, as a little bonus, I don't like to take too much of them. They're not very environmental friendly, but it's a little present for my auntie. They are very useful, especially I always take a few and I'm going to demonstrate what they actually do. So this is a little micro towel and this is like a sponge and it's very small. It almost doesn't take any space. This one too, it's super small, but they're useful if you're somewhere and you don't have a clean towel or you only have a towel for your body and you want to use something for your face. This is very useful. I always take a few of them just in case. And I'm just going to show you, I need to take some water for that. We don't want to waste them, but I'm going to use it today. But anyway, this is a sponge. I'm going to put it in water. So yeah, when you're traveling, you just do it under the shower, right? Or under the tap. As an emergency, if you don't have anything to clean your face, if you need a sponge for under the shower, you want to take off your factor 50 with a color, this becomes a really big sponge so you can clean your face. Yeah, almost and a very lightweight head. So I'm going to use this one today. And then the other one is the paper towel. Also going to show you. I'm going to unpack. I actually like this one more than a sponge because I normally just use my hands. But this one, if you want to clean your face, if you don't have a clean towel, I use sometimes a Dutch thing called the washing hand. You can see that one in my video and blog post about female, like I showed you before, things to take as a female traveler. But this one becomes a huge towel. You remember how small it was like this before? And this is what you get. Perfect to clean your face, it's dry. So these are really useful. That was a bonus tip. You can buy them in like shops like Primo in Spain, but I'm pretty sure you can get them on Amazon. So I'm gonna look where you can find them, and I will also add the link in the description below in the blog post. And the second bonus tip is this one. Hooked on Travel, I also like it. You know, those toilet bags you can just hang. Especially useful if you stay in hostels, if you do like hiking trips or somewhere where you don't have a lot of space. Also for your hygiene, it's nice to hang it. You can hang it and there's a lot of space. There's like different parts, so you can put like maybe condition bottle, two different parts, like 4 parts. And you also have a part here if you need to grab something quickly. So yeah, Hooked on Travel, pretty useful. You can hang it and there's everything you need. So now let's go to the cosmetics that I don't pack for traveling. And now let's go to the things I don't take and why. And the first one is again for females. Sorry, male travelers, but the other two travel cosmetics are also for men. But this one first for female, unless you're a man who wears makeup. What I don't take is waterproof 24-hour mascara. A lot of female travelers might bring waterproof mascara. I have a few reasons why I don't. And the first reason why I don't use waterproof mascara, I live in the Canary Islands, I don't even use it here. Because if it's getting really hot, I walk a lot. So if I put mascara and it's getting on your eyelid here, if it's not waterproof, I just wipe it off like that. But the idea of waterproof is that it doesn't go there, right? But sometimes it still does. And then you don't get it off because it's so waterproof, it sticks there. So if your waterproof is not that waterproof that it only sticks on your eyelash and it goes to your skin, you don't get it off. And if it's not waterproof, you just wipe it off like that. And the second reason is you need to take makeup remover to take it off. So there are things like this, for example. You can clean your face, although it's not very environmental friendly, but you have things like this. You can pack to take off your makeup. But do you want to travel with those things or with a bottle of makeup remover? Like I just use some soap and get my mascara off. So I don't, no waterproof mascara. But maybe for your own reasons you do. You have a really good one and you find it very important. Like I don't care. I go to the beach or swimming. I don't need mascara. But some people really want that, so that's a bit personal. And sorry for the male travelers, but the next two ones are also for you. Big bottles. Yeah, this is just a 15, not huge, but I do not bring body sunscreen for my face, yes, because I want to my color, I want that one. I want something good for my face. I have acne prone skin, like I told you before, so I want a good one for my face, but they're small. But I'm not going to bring big factor 30, factor 20, although I don't burn very quickly. But if you do, why I don't bring them? Wherever you're traveling to, they sell them. You don't need to pack them, take them on the airplane, pay for your extra luggage. Or if you already travel with checked in luggage, still it can break. Then it's all your clothes under the sunscreen. So you can buy them anywhere. And also, if you have them from last year, they say that if it's open for a year, it doesn't work as good anymore. So I would just not take it with you and buy it wherever you go. Make sure to get reef safe sunscreen, especially if you go swimming with it. And this is the same for mosquito repellent. I used to buy them before, then I didn't need them, then it didn't work anymore. I took in the Dominican Republic, I had like a lot of mosquito bites. People asked me like if I had some allergy, if there's something with the reefs. I was like, no, it's just mosquitoes. I don't have air conditioning in my room. But most of the times, the best ones for that specific location, they have it there. So if I would not buy it beforehand because you don't know if you need it, you don't know when you need it, and the best ones are there. So I would buy it on location. It's not that I won't use it, but I won't take it on your travels. So mosquito repellent, big sunscreen, and maybe the same for like body lotion. You don't really need body lotion. Like sometimes I take a little bit of coconut oil. It hydrates your skin. It can hydrate your hair. You don't need a lot of big commercial products for those things. I don't take small cosmetic refill bottles on long-term backpack travels. And although I have them here a lot, because I travel a lot, but I almost never use them. Sometimes it might be useful if you live somewhere, you go for 5 days and you want to take your whatever, your shampoo or something small. Yes, you can fill up. That's why I have them. But if I go backpacking, I'm not going to bring and fill up all those things and take them with me because most places where I've been working as a diving instructor, where I've backpacked, like Asia, in the Caribbean, in the Dominican Republic, in Mexico, in the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, everywhere I've traveled to, you have like small ones in the shops. I would not be bothered by filling those up because if you need to fill them up before you go backpacking, well, after a few weeks they're empty, and then how are you going to refill them? So it's much easier to buy them on location as well. I do not use makeup remover, cleansing milk, tonic, micellar water, and all that. Okay, and the last one I don't take, and this might also be for female, but I don't know what's the daily skin routine for men. But what I don't take is makeup remover, cleaning milk, tonic water, or micellar water, all those things you have nowadays. Because that's a lot of place in your backpack. Personally, I don't think you need all that. What I use for like, I think 30 years or 20 years or longer is this brand. But like I said, I'm used to have very acne prone skin. At the moment, it's much better, but I used to have spots all the time, pimples came out, everything. This really helps with it. But beside of that, it's a pH 5.5. It's just a gentle soap. You can also take a bar soap. I also used to travel with bar soap, but I used to take this one for my face. And this is a pretty big one. But I used to fill up. This is the little bottle I bought once in Asia somewhere with Clean and Clean. I used to fill up the Cibamet with it. This small is it. And I do a long, long time with it. Maybe I fill it up once in a half a year or 5 months or so. And it washes also off all my makeup. And then you don't need all the rest. So you can take things like this to take your makeup, but I don't know if you want to travel with that. It's not very environmental friendly. This one for me is like soap for my face. It takes off all the makeup, and I can also use it as a shower gel. But I'm not going to try to do like a whole skin ritual with all the things you need, tonic, milk, and all that. This I also use at home. So for me, this is all I take to clean my face. Conclusion and a recap of the 5 important travel cosmetics I always carry with me while traveling. So those were 5 cosmetics with a lot of information around it, and I hope you had something on these travel tips. But those were 5 travel cosmetics I always take when I travel on a long-term backpack trip, on a small trip but only hand luggage. But anyway, if you want to travel lightweight and don't want to carry too much, but will be prepared for certain things, for your personal hygiene or any other things that might come along traveling, like a toothache or pimples or athlete food. You got it all covered. Sunburn, you got it all covered with those 5 things. I'm going to show you again quickly. Factor 50 with a color. Rexona Deo stick, not a roll-on, not a spray, just a stick, so no liquid. Tea tree oil, Sensodyne Rapid Relief, so you can stay away from the dentist for a few more days if you're somewhere remote. Shampoo in a bar. So those were the 5 things. And I came with a lot of other information, but must be useful for traveling, especially if you solo travel, if you go lightweight, or maybe you're also a diving instructor who doesn't have much space in your luggage like I used to have. Hopefully that was helpful. You can check out the blog post in the description below as soon as I've got it on my website on splashpacker.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more solo female travel or solo travel in general. It's not only always for females, for scuba dive travel and sustainable tourism. So you can find more information on splashpacker.com about me. I will also add that link in the description. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And I do have a question for you. Now, while I'm doing a personal video anyway, I would like to ask you something because I have quite a lot of new subscribers joined last month. And thank you for following me. But I would like to ask you if you have any preference, because I still have a lot of travel content from the Azores, which is a bit old. That's a few years ago. I've been diving there, but I only went to São Miguel Island. I still have videos from the island I need to create. Last year I've been to Cape Verde, and I've posted some things from Sal Island, but I've also been to Boa Vista, São Vicente, and Santo Antão. So I've been to 3 other islands. And now I've been lately to mainland Spain, to Granada, I've been to Sevilla, and now I'm going to Almeria, Malaga, and Cordoba. And then I also still have some dive videos left. And I have this, I can do travel tips. So I would like to ask you to put in the comments what you like the most, so I can do more videos for that. If you have a preference for any destination on Macaronesia, and I'm living on the Canary Islands. So Canary Islands, Cape Verde, Azores, or mainland Spain. What kind of videos you like scuba diving, on the road, or travel tips, let me know and I will keep it in mind. Okay, just share it in the comments. And so see you in that video. Bye. Associate or affiliate disclaimer. And to comply with the European advertising law, I also need to mention that I'm Amazon associate, so I earn commission on qualifying purchases through the links in my description below or in the blog post. And if you're not a subscriber yet, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. Bye!